Overt carbohydrates on the keto diet. Are they a good idea? Are they a bad idea? Do I eat carbs ever on a keto diet? Stay tuned. I'm gonna jump into that in this video. A lot of my clients and a lot of people who've been following my journey know that I come from a high carb, low fat background and used to eat tons and tons of fruit. Okay, so I personally love to take an extremely minimal approach to everything in life. I like to keep things very simple, and I like to keep things stripped down and as obvious as possible so that I have a lot more time managing fun things and doing things rather than trying to organize my diet and organize my life. I'm a minimalist. I love it that way. It makes me feel good. I take the same approach with my carbohydrates on my keto diet. I keep my carbs at an overt carbohydrates at 0. I try to get none. I don't do fruit. I'm not doing any starchy vegetables at all. I do a little bit of leafy greens and green juices, and that is about it. So on a daily basis, I keep my carbs under 30 grams per day. And I know there's a little bit of debate out there about, how many grams of carbs, net carbs versus total carbs, all of that good stuff. And I'm not even gonna jump into that in this video because I like to keep my approach so much more simple than that. I keep my carbs under 30 grams per day, and that keeps me in ketosis, in deep ketosis. I can push my carbs to 42 grams and still be in ketosis, but I feel better around 30 or less. When I plug stuff into Chronometer, I do have days where my carb percentage is like 4% or 3%, like 15 grams total for an entire day. And I will say that 30 grams and under for me is my magic number. What I suggest to my clients who are at that place in their phase of healing their skin and they're going to a keto diet, if that's what they choose, or if that's what their body is telling them, to start off with about 35 to 40 and then scale back from there. See how you feel. Of course, you got to get through that transitional phase, the keto flu or the transition, before you can really test these things. You got to get into the flow of it. But for me, here's what I notice. I notice when my carbs go over 30 on this diet, it actually doesn't feel that wonderful. My brain gets slightly foggy, and I just don't feel as amazing. When my carbs are at 30 and under, it just feels awesome. My brain chemistry works wonderfully. I'm very focused. My mood is always elevated and just kind of docile and happy and a little bit more slower moving. I come from a background of being ADD as hell. I have all sorts of energy. I've never had an issue with being tired. For me, my issues were based more on me being spazzy and just like moving around so fast and my brain working so fast and all this. The keto approach with under 30 grams of carbs makes me feel very focused, very mellow, very happy, and my ability to have lots of creativity and lots of cognitive functioning feels great. The other thing I notice when I keep my carbs to almost 0 overt carbs for the entire day is that my body composition drastically starts to change. And what do I mean by this? I mean that I continually putting on some lean muscle while at the same time my body fat just keeps shredding down and down and down. When I push my protein and when I push my fat and I drop the carbs super low, it seems to be amazing for body recomp. Also, it feels really amazing for digestion. So if you're on a keto approach and you're not getting the results that you really want, I would look at two main areas. How much fat are you eating and where is your carbs at? Those are the two main variables for me. On the keto approach, I keep my protein pretty much daily about the same, somewhere between 120 and 160 grams per day. It doesn't fluctuate much from that at all. Where I make my kind of like decisions to either bulk it up or shred it down or just to feel different is if I need more, I go way higher on the fats. That gives me the energy I need, that gives me the calories I need. And if I'm really looking to bulk, like let's say I wanted to put on 15 pounds of just thick, strong muscle, gain some healthy weight, I would slightly up my carbs from 30 to 40. That's what works for me. You do have to do some experimenting. You might have to test your blood, test your ketone levels to see where your cutoff point is. Obviously, you don't want to be knocking yourself out of ketosis all the time. So find the grams of carbs that work best for you. Like I said a million times in this video, the best for me is 30 grams and under, but you got to find your own flow with it, and you got to kind of experiment and see where that's at for yourself. The easiest way to do this, in my opinion, if you're confused, is just eliminate the carbs completely. No overt carbs except leafy greens. You'll be good to go. That way you don't have to worry about low glycemic carbs. You don't have to worry about any type of like berries or fruit or starches in the diet at all. Just boom, eliminate the carbs. You'll get a few from the leafy greens, and you'll be good to go. Here's one thing to remember though, my good friends, is if you're doing a keto diet and you're eating lots of nuts, lots of seeds, and lots of dairy, there's carbohydrates in that. So you gotta kind of keep account for that. I've had a couple people that I've worked with who do really good on raw dairy and were eating so much of it. Every time they were testing their ketones, they were way out of ketosis. We made the adjustment of taking away the dairy, focusing on things like salmon, egg yolks, wild caught meats, tallow, liverwurst, things like that. Super nutrient dense fatty foods, and boom, back into ketosis in no time. So pay attention to what you're eating and understand that there could be some hidden carbs and things, but at the end of the day, don't stress too much about the details. Learn what your details are so that you know. Obsess about food so that you don't have to obsess about food. Listen to your body at all times. I'd love to hear from you guys out there who have been on the keto diet for a while. What are your carb sources? Where do you put your grams of carbs per day? And how do you feel about never eating any overt carbs at all? I'd love to hear from you guys. That's going to be it for today, guys. A few announcements. November 15th is the official start date for our group coaching course. We're going to be focusing on reversing skin disease, things like eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea. We're going to lay out the 3 phases for you guys and really teach you guys how to really jump into it. It's going to be a really fun class. The group classes are just so much fun. You can sign up for that at holistichealthactivation.com. If you're looking to become a private client of mine, have me help you lead yourself through the skin disease reversal process, I'd be happy to help. There's a link in the description for that. On Instagram, my name is Rob Stuart, but in real life, my name is just Rob Stuart. Hit me up on the Instagram, putting up a ton of information about skin disease reversal and overall holistic health there as well. Last but not least, if you're new to this channel, I'd really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up and you shared some of these videos if they're helping you, and hit that subscribe button. Let's help each other get the word out. Whole foods, disease reversal, we can all live a happy, healthy life. I love you guys. And if you're new to this channel, if you're old to this channel and you haven't hit that notification bell yet, come on, man.